Hi again, everybody. This is the Bricks and Bleachers podcast. All things Chicago Cubs in under 10 minutes. Another season is upon us. The Nats and Cubs get it going tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a preview of the opening series and really the whole year for that matter. We'll talk about the opening day roster, make some predictions for the year ahead, and talk about PCA's new deal. Spring training really feels like it flew by this year. Perhaps was distracted by the World Baseball Classic. It was nice to see some meaningful baseball before opening day, and now we are less than 24 hours from first pitch at Wrigley Field. Cubs and Nationals, teams that are not in the same stratosphere. Cubs have big goals for the year ahead. The Nats are still trying to rebuild following their 2019 World Series. Of course, the Cubs won it 3 years before them in 2016. But the teams reset at the same time, trade deadline of 2021. I saw the teams in person in D.C. right after the deadline. Both rosters were pretty weak. A lot of guys not ready for the majors, but they were in the right place at the right time. Cubs have been able to rebuild since then, almost making the postseason in 24, making it last year, and the Nats have been nowhere close. More on the opening series is just ahead. Let's talk about the opening day roster. Cubs are largely running it back from 2025 when it comes to the everyday lineup. One in, one out. Kyle Tucker gone to the Dodgers. Alex Bregman has arrived on a 5-year deal. Cubs also swinging a trade this offseason for Edward Cabrera from Miami. This guy was mentioned at the trade deadline last season. The Cubs finally get him, and if he can stay healthy, I say it's a big addition. Cubs front office also pulling off their annual tradition of rebuilding the bullpen. Phil Maton, Hobie Milner, and Hunter Harvey are new faces there. Catching core largely the same. Carson Kelly and Miguel Amaya behind the plate. Michael Busch at first base. Craig Counsell says Busch will get more opportunities this year against left-handed pitching, so should see far less of a platoon, and I'm all for that. Warner, Swanson, and Bregman round out the infield. Happ, PCA, and Suzuki from left to right in the outfield. With Tucker gone, Suzuki will play the field this year on most days. He was a DH on most occasions 1 year ago. And it looks like Moises Ballesteros is the guy who gets the DH duties for the Cubs most days. Or at least that's the plan at this point. Cubs also can rely on Matt Shaw. He's sort of a super sub as they see him playing all over the field, both infield and outfield throughout the year ahead. Seiya Suzuki starting the year on the IL, a knee injury sustained in the World Baseball Classic. I believe Shaw will get some time in right field, although Dylan Carlson and Michael Conforto both made the team, and they are both pretty good outfield options. Scott Kingery also on the roster as a backup infielder. I would say he is the biggest surprise of the spring. Ben Brown making the cut. He'll start the year in the Cubs bullpen. That certainly was not a lock when spring began. He gets one more chance to find his role with this team in the year ahead. Javier Assad, not so lucky. He'll be beginning the year at Iowa. A couple other familiar names just placed on the IL, Porter Hodge and Jordan Wicks. Time for this and that. News and notes from around Major League Baseball. ABS is the biggest change to the rules this season. Teams will get 2 challenges each game, and if successful, they retain those challenges for later in the game. League also focused on keeping base coaches in their boxes down the first and third base lines. It's a move intended to increase safety and game speed. The All-Star Game this year will be in Philadelphia, which is pretty cool because it lines up with America 250 celebrations there. And then, of course, it comes to Wrigley Field next year. If you don't have MLB TV and considering it, know that there are a lot of changes this year. It's bundled with the ESPN app. They hope you will forget to cancel the ESPN Unlimited subscription. So keep that in mind if you are new to MLB TV. If you do subscribe, be sure to cancel that before the extra charges kick in. Also, speaking of ESPN, they are out of the game with Sunday Night Baseball this year. That's moving over to NBC. Cubs and Nationals kick off the season Thursday afternoon. Before we set up the opening series, let's talk about the whole season ahead. Cubs finished with 92 wins last year. There are the two main projection sites. Pacoda is one of them. Pacoda projecting them with 90 wins, easily winning the National League Central. Fangraphs has a much more meager outlook, just 83 wins, winning the division with the Brewers and Pirates just one game back. I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to say the Cubs end up with 94 wins. I think the team is more in a win-now mentality than has been the case for several years. Bregman signing is great. PCA just got signed too. 6 years, $115 million. I believe that's an extension that kicks in next year. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that means he'll be sticking around through 2032. But even if it's just 2031, that's still a welcome sign. I think the Cubs will have trade pieces for possible moves in the middle of the year. Justin Steele comes back in late May or June. That's similar to a midseason acquisition. So 94 wins, an improvement from last season, although there is a concern of mine that carries over from 2025. I thought they were one bat short last year, and I don't see that addressed. Bregman in place of Tucker, that's great, but again, that's 1 for 1. The DH role is definitely a wild card. I hope to see Ballesteros do well, but he's young, relatively inexperienced, and the same can be said for Matt Shaw. I think Dylan Carlson is a definite bench upgrade. Kingery and Conforto, I say, could be bumped at any point if a better option presents itself. I say Cade Horton has another great year. He was not with the team for the whole year last year. That'll be the case this year, so a few more starts, and I think he'll build on what was a nice surprise in 25. I say Cade Horton delivers 13 wins or more. Shota Imanaga bounces back, too. He has had a nice spring. We hope that carries over. Justin Steele comes back. I said that. I say he's going to be good for 10 wins over the 4 months or so that he's with the team. That's a lot of good. It's not all good. Jameson Taillon struggled this spring. I say he's going to have a difficult year. I believe this is his final year with the Cubs on his current deal, if I'm not mistaken. PCA just got a brand new deal. Like I said, he's going to get 35 home runs and 40 steals. And then you got Horner, Suzuki, and Happ entering the final year of their deals. I guess 1, maybe 2 of them will return. Your thoughts are welcome anytime on X, Bricks Bleachers. Season is finally here. Cubs and Nationals, 2:20 Eastern. Tomorrow afternoon, it gets going at Wrigley Field with Michael Boyd and Cade Cavalli, the starters. Miles Michaelis to the hill for the Nats on Saturday, and Jake Irvin in Sunday's series finale. I don't believe the Cubs have announced starters beyond opening day. But it's safe to say I'm excited for the return of Cubs baseball. If you are here, you've got to be excited too. Share your thoughts anytime, all season long on X with Bricks Bleachers. Reach out to us anytime. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and more. All things Chicago Cubs in under 10 minutes. This is the Bricks and Bleachers podcast.